Joe cares only about enriching his own family. I care about enriching your family. And something that, again, this is like an evening of firsts, but something which I proudly state, that I'm the only president that ever lost money while serving in office, and I knew that would happen. I didn't know it was going to be that much. That's a lot. I lost a number of billions. But I knew it was part of the game, and that's what I intended. I didn't intend. I could have made a fortune. Oh, I could have gone to these countries and made deals. You know, I put things in trust. I said, my kids are going to run it. I said, don't do deals outside of the country. Don't do this. Don't. They were going, Dad, can we do something? They said, no, you know, I'm president. We have a higher standard. And then I come out and I watch this Biden stuff they go to make deals with countries that it's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I got to give credit to Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer and all of these guys because they found things that nobody thought could be found. But it cost me billions of dollars, and it's been worth every single penny of it. Because I'm working for you. I'm not working for me. That I can tell you. I could have made so much. I could have. Sir, we'd love to do a deal in Saudi Arabia. Sir, we'd love to do a deal here and there. We'd love to do a deal. I really can't do that. I'm president. Biden would do it. So we just, we did it right. We did the right thing. And I do it exactly that way again. I will do it that way again. Look, we have a very short period of time. I do it that way. I even gave away my salary. Does anybody say that I gave away my salary? No. They used to call every month, did you give it away this month to people? Yeah. And, you know, you have to give it to various agencies, actually. Did you give it away? If I ever said no, it would have been, when I say yes, yes we did, yes we did. I never read anything about it. If we would have said no we didn't, it would be headlines. But it was an honor. It was all an honor. If you want the Bidens to make millions selling out America to China, Russia, Ukraine, while your savings go up in flames, and that's what's happened, how are your 401ks doing, you know, as an example? Then vote for Crooked Joe. He's Crooked Joe. You know, we used to call him Sleepy Joe, but I think Crooked Joe is a better name. Crooked Sleepy, Sleepy Crooked. No, I think it's better. It's more appropriate. If you want better jobs, higher wages, an affordable American dream, then you must vote for your favorite president, Donald J. Trump.
Across all the laboratories where there's a background check. There's the filters that Secretary Turk mentioned in terms of recruitment programs and their history. There's a famous form, I think 493 we call it, that foreign nationals have to fill out. There's it's a long process to get hired and get cleared, and not just to be hired, but even to come as a visitor and to participate in user facilities. So I think labs do a quite good job of screening this, and they make very valuable contributions. One statistic that I think was maybe mentioned, that over 60% of the computer science graduate students in the U.S. are foreign-born, and the workforce component that we need to build advanced AI systems will not function if we prohibit those students from participating in this ecosystem. So we're going to need to really accelerate our workforce development, and foreign-born participants are an important component of that.
So to follow up to Mr. Wheeler, so given the global nature of the technology development, how does your organization navigate the challenges of international collaboration while ensuring the security and the integrity of the research?
There we go, sorry. Much like the national labs, we have a very a process for how we onboard talent as well. We also have, ongoing training, and that's mandatory. It's around global trade, and so it's very specific. Everyone gets trained around, what are the regulations around how do you interact if, whether it's a collaboration opportunity with anyone abroad, honestly. And so we have very strict control that manages what kind of technology can be transferred, who we work with. So very tight guidelines there. And then above and beyond that, for the projects we're involved in, specifically, this is obviously closer to Department of Defense.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Puglisi, just a couple things. I mean, you are an expert on Chinese science and technology policy. You very well outlined to us in your opening statement the threats that China poses to government-funded research as well as private sector development. So we have more than 4,000 Chinese nationals working in the Department of Energy labs. Are these employees vulnerable to the Chinese Communist Party, their talent recruitment programs? How does that work?
Great, thank you. The talent recruitment programs really do pose quite a challenge based on the principles that a lot of these individuals, when they sign these contracts, often obfuscate their participation. But I think, as I mentioned in my opening statement, it's really important as we go forward that we acknowledge the policies and programs that China has put in place and really focus on how our system and their system is different. And that's why it's important to talk about the human rights issues and the kinds of pressure that the Chinese government can bring to bear on individuals, especially, as you had mentioned in your opening statement, whose families are still in China. Now, I think it's a really delicate balance. And so some of these reporting programs, and also just following up on different affiliations and thinking through, I think the risk matrix is one of those tools that can be very useful because all research doesn't have the same amount of risk, right? And so it's important to not have a one-size-fits-all approach to this. But it also highlights the importance of really investing in homegrown talent as well. So thank you.
So, Mr. Turk, more than a year ago, I wrote to the department regarding the persistent threat of the Chinese foreign nationals when they're doing research on sensitive technology at our labs, a copy of the letter. I brought to the attention that 162 Chinese nationals who actually stole sensitive research material from Los Alamos in the lab. Your department answered the letter, but really didn't answer my question. So let me ask the question to you. Does the benefit of the work of the Chinese foreign nationals within our labs outweigh the documented risks to both our research and our national security?
Well, let me first thank you for all your focus on this issue. Thanks to Ms. Puglisi and others who've focused their careers here. And I thought Ms. Puglisi's testimony, as I said in my opening, was incredibly useful, just to eyes wide open, right? Here's the threat, and here's what we face, and how do we deal with it and get the balance right. So three things maybe just to point out, and happy to get into this in any detail. One, we do have specific restrictions. So you can't work at a DOE lab if you've done a talent recruitment program. And to make sure that we've got that prohibition and those restrictions in place and trying to really think about not just what's called a talent recruitment program, but other ways that the Chinese government or others can get around that as well, so that we've got that eyes wide open on those specific prohibitions. Secondly, as was mentioned, we've got this science and technology risk matrix. This is going beyond what's under export control or what's under classification and making sure we're looking at technologies and, just as Ms. Puglisi said, doing a ranking of where are the most sensitive technologies. AI is one of the 6 sensitive technology areas that we have a particular focus on in this risk matrix and make sure that for those very sensitive applications we have extra protections. So it's a risk-based model along those lines. Third, we do have a counterintelligence unit at the Department of Energy, and all of our field offices cover all of our labs. So we are actively investigating and making sure that we're following up on any leads so that we can be as thoughtful and proactive as we possibly can. There is a balance here, just as you said, just as Ms. Puglisi said. It's a great part of our science scientific apparatus that we have folks from all over the world who want to come work here, right? Leading scientific minds who, you think of Albert Einstein, you think of a number of others who benefited our country immensely, and we want to take advantage of that, especially where appropriate with open science, with areas that are fruitful for that kind of